Good morning, SKN. I'm Jamie Morris.
And I'm Cortensia Carty.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of GMSKN on this lovely Monday morning. Great start to the week. Hopefully your week will be productive. We proceed now to the latest in local news.
This from SKNIS. The 34th meeting of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, Legal Affairs Committee was held on March 9th and 10th, 2023 in Barbados. Attending the meeting on behalf of the Federation was Attorney General Senator Garth Wilkin. Attorney General Wilkin said, unquote, the OECS Legal Affairs Committee met this week to discuss and finalize various OECS model bills, the contingent, the Rights Bill, the Standards Bill, the Animal Health Bill, and the Plant Protection Bill. There was frank and stimulating discussion on these important bills, particularly the Contingent Rights Bill, which seeks to expand important OECS economic union principle established by the revised Treaty of Bastia, end quote. Attorney General Wilkin added that he is pleased that St. Kitts will host the scheduled 35th meeting of the OECS Legal Affairs Committee in April 2023, which coincides with the 6th meeting of the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union Attorney General and Chief Parliamentary Council, at which he will present on the topic Achieving Growth and Resilience, a new vision for the ECCU legal system.
And in other news, this from Media SKN, Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, confirmed the Nevis Island Administration's purchase of about 9 acres of land from the Yearwood family to create a facility that would allow for parking, attendant services, security, lighting, and other additional services for the Uwali Water Taxi Pier. Minister of Infrastructure in the Nevis Island Administration, the Honourable Spencer Grant, is leading the charge with the project. During the Wednesday, March 8th edition of On the Mark, the Premier of Nevis informed the public that the construction for the reception and ticket area at the Uwali Water Taxi facility had begun. Premier Brantley also notified the public of the decision that had been taken concerning the boats occupying the plot of land opposite the pier. Brantley said that the NIA had revolutionized travel between St. Kitts and Nevis with the construction of the water taxi facility. The figures, he said, have proved that the facility has become part of the tapestry of Nevisian and Kittitian life.
This from SKN Vibes. Deputy Premier, the Honourable Eric Evelyn, Minister of Agriculture in the Nevis Island Administration, NIA, said he is heartened over the high level of interest shown by Nevisians to get involved in the poultry industry being established by the government. The Ministry of Agriculture held a public forum at the Red Cross Building Conference Room on March 8, 2023 for persons who registered their interest in the new industry. The Minister chaired the meeting along with Mr. Huey Sargent, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, and Director of Agriculture, Mr. Randy Elliott, fielding questions such as access and financing, the reliability of feed, and supplying of hatchlings. The Nevis Island Administration has already purchased a turnkey bird processing plant at a cost of US $260,000, which has the capacity to process 700 to 800 birds per day. The equipment is scheduled to arrive in Nevis within the next few weeks.
All right, time now for a check of our local weather. It will be mostly sunny with a high of 81 and a low of 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Take a look at your forecast as we head to a break. More GMSKN in a flash.
Shit.
An exotic experience.
No cash, no card, no problem. JAD. Embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Time now for the latest in regional news. This from Antigua Newsroom. Junior Chamber International JCI Antigua on Wednesday launched their long-running flagship project, JC's Queen Show, at Government House to an audience of government officials, invited guests, media, and sponsors. Slated for July 31st, the annual Queen Show will celebrate its 60th production under the theme, celebrating 60 years of vibrancy, talent, and culture at the Antigua Recreation Grounds or Carnival City, beginning at 8 p.m. Addressing attendees at the media launch, 2023 chairman of the project, Janisha Jacobs, said, quote, "This year is one of great significance to the JC's Queen Show Committee and by extension JCI Antigua as we commemorate 60 beautiful years of empowerment through pageantry, celebrating the Diamond Jubilee of this, or organization's flagship project," end quote. The pageant will see its usual 5 segments, including opening number, swimwear, talent, evening wear, and interview, along with its usual high-energy entertainment lineup and some new additions to the patron experience for the pageant's Diamond Jubilee celebration.
That's so nice. We continue now with international news. This from ABC News. Police arrested a 10-year-old student in Maine after the student arrived on school grounds with a firearm on Friday. No one was injured, the Waldo County Sheriff Office said. The office said it arrived at Monroe Elementary in Monroe on Friday just before 9 a.m. after fielding a report that the student had a firearm. The sheriff's office said police worked with the school staff to detain the student and seize the firearm. The student was then arrested and taken to the Waldo County Sheriff's Office. The office said there was no ongoing threat to the school or the community. The small school has about 70 students and is set on a 2-lane road amid rolling hills and forests. The news of a student bringing a firearm to school was alarming, said Ted Pellerin, a 64-year-old who lived near the school and sent his own children there years ago. He said it seemed the community avoided a tragedy. Pellerin said the incident should prompt a discussion with students about how dangerous something like that could be, how seriously something like that could be. The Sheriff's Office and Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives were investigating the incident, police said. Now there you have it for regional and international news for this Monday morning. Much more after this short break. Stay tuned.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao bango!
Yo, this is your boy Smiley of the Grandmasters Band, and you're watching GMSKN. Hey, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just make sure you're watching GMSKN. What up?
The St. Kitts Nevis Information Service recently released an article about the possible increase of the nation's minimum wage.
Well, I was just reading an article and it said the last time the minimum wage was increased was in 2014. The previous administration, however, they proposed something, or they were putting together something in 2018 where they were supposed to report it in 2019, but it doesn't seem that that came into fruition. So what the article said is that in 2014, the minimum wage rose on the Labour-led government, and it will once again be raised on the Labour-led government again once that bill is passed.
Yeah, those were the words of Minister Henderson, to be precise. Yep. That is what she said, and we can understand why she phrased it that way. My thoughts on minimum wage, obviously, with the state of affairs, I mean, everybody's working and everybody wants to make sure that they have more money to take home at the end of the day. So any increase is a good increase. Again, any increase is a good increase. All right, so the article gives us a few excerpts, and the first one reads that the Policy and Labor Relations Unit in the Department of Labor will make a cabinet submission recommending an increase in the minimum wage. And this was said by the Honorable Marsha Henderson, Minister of Employment, during her presentation at the sitting of the National Assembly on March 7th, 2023. So again, as you rightly said, they're putting together that plan to increase minimum wage. And you rightly also said that she said that the last time the wage was increased was in 2014.
No.
So it's definitely significant.
Wow. I'm looking at this. Wow. I'm looking at the monies in the various islands, and St. Kitts has the highest minimum wage as of now, because it's $9 per hour. St. Lucia, the office clerk, I guess this is the weekly wage, is $300. The shop assistant is $200. The messenger is $160. Dominica, the national minimum wage is $7.50 per hour. Wow, Grenada, domestic workers. What? Oftentimes wonder, we work for this little monies and we make it stress. How do we do it as human beings? I don't understand, because in Grenada, domestic worker works for $4.50 an hour. Jamie, that's not even half a bread and cheese. Wow. Right. In an hour. security guard, decent, I guess. $8. Antigua, $8.20 per hour. Not bad. Getting there, but we're still on top.
There are plans to increase it. I want to read something that is attributed to the Honorable Minister Henderson as well. She said, quote, "The second significant suggestion being considered by the Policy and Labor Relations Unit is something referred to as 4-day work week, which came out of COVID-19 and the practices that we adopted as a result of the pandemic." So that'll be interesting to see as well. And whether or not that affects how much people earn, although I doubt that it would, because if you're working for 4 days, it's not necessarily that you're not working the additional day, you might be working elsewhere. So I'll be interested to see how that plays out and how it feeds into the whole discussion on minimum wage.
So that's basically saying that everyone that have employees should have a 4-day work week.
That I'm not sure. Yeah. What were your thoughts on this?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. If, per se, we work here, we work from Monday to Thursday, and as you say, we could have work somewhere else. That entails a 4-day work week, but that's a lot, because I saw somewhere in the States or somewhere of sorts that says they're going to have a 4-day school week. So I'm like, is everybody going to 4-day now?
I see.
Wow. I would like to speak to somebody who works for the average minimum wage.
Well, again, that ought not to be taken in isolation, because there are lots of social assistance programs that, of course, could be put in place as a safety net to ensure that there is that difference, there's that offset of the difference, that, you know, what they need to spend versus what they earn, that gap can be filled by such programs. So everything ought to work together in meaningful ways, and we'll see how that goes.
We definitely will.
All right. That's all. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a moment with more GM SKN. Stay tuned.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Karen of Paris and support from Paris Lamont. I want to encourage y'all to sign on to Good Morning SKN every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Thanks.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
早安 SKN。
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. There's a quote that says, "Purpose is the reason you journey. Passion is the fire that lights your way." Once again, purpose is the reason you journey. Passion is the fire that lights the way. So Jamie, what do you think about this quote?
I'm eager to hear your thoughts.
Okay, so I'm going to say, they say purpose is the reason for your journey. So once you find out your purpose in life, you go towards it. You will have obstacles, you'll have many things thrown your way. Sometimes you may want to give up, but once you have passion, I believe the passion is the fire that lights the way to help you to continue to pursue your purpose in life, irregardless. Because sometimes we're aiming for something and it's like everything is just coming against us. Everything is just coming against us. Continue, and to get it, we must fight back.
All right.
So that's how I look at this quote.
Yeah, purpose. All right. You said it.
So have you discovered your purpose?
No, not that anybody cares. Don't care about my purpose, right? Yeah.
Why wouldn't anybody care?
I just don't think. Listen, people are very focused on what they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Some of what they have to do involves helping people find their purpose and staying on the purpose. For the majority of us, we really don't care what the other person is doing. We care about fulfilling our dreams and our goals, which is why I say you guys don't really care about my purpose. So it's immaterial whether or not I found it. That's what I'm looking at it. That's how I'm looking at it. The question is, have you found yours? And what do you do once you found it? Do you pursue it? Do you jump over hurdles to get it? Is everything going to be easy, like open sesame, here are the doors, you arrived, or are you going to just walk through? Not necessarily that way every single time. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. We're talking about purpose and journeys and all of this stuff. Very interesting.
And you mentioned persons helping one to find their purpose.
Yeah.
You mean like somebody going to a psychiatrist?
No, not that way at all.
Well, a counselor. Let me use that way.
No, it didn't mean that necessarily. I just meant, you know, depending on your career path, some teachers do that. You motivate people. There's some guidance counselors, to your point, I guess, to that degree, perhaps. But there are some people's work whose focus really is to motivate others to live the best life that they can live. One of the things that's very interesting with this is that as we're talking about this quotation, I'm looking at it. Obviously, I said before that nobody really cares about my purpose because you're looking at your own purpose and your passion, et cetera, and that's true as far as I can see it. One of the things that's not being said, however, is when you are attempting to fulfill your purpose, you're going to be interacting with people who also have their purposes. And the question is, at which point do your purposes meet, and do they continue to go together? Are you going to go on the same path indefinitely? Does one subvert to the other for the time being so that you're helping someone pursue their purpose while yours is not being fulfilled? Or are you walking together hand in hand from beginning to end? Or does there come a point in time when you diverge because it served your purposes to work together up until a certain point in time, until it no longer does? So those are all considerations. Where's that passion? And what causes passion to dwindle anyway? Is passion absolute? Or is passion affected by circumstances? Is passion affected by dreams? Can reality affect passion? So much so that your passion, while you're on this path, is effectively diverted to another path where you can become more passionate.
Yeah, because just like with careers, sometimes we stay in a career for 5 years that we thought in the beginning we were passionate about, and then be like, I need to change. This is not working for me anymore. And then we're on to the next thing. So we're working hard to get to the next thing because that fire would have burned out. Same thing with relationships, and I'm not going to put in the loved ones, but friendships and everything. We had one goal when we started out, and then eventually it goes left. And I think that's what happens sometimes, as you said, and I'm going to go to that relationship now, the union relationship where, well, marriage, where what we started with no longer works for us, and we grow apart. That kills the fire, that kills the passion, the stuff that meant 100% in the beginning now only means 10. So then it's changed. Imagine you went into the relationship saying, okay, by year 5 of our marriage, we'll have an apartment complex. At year 5, there's no apartment complex, and you're asking questions like, so what happened to this dream? You said this is what we were going to do.
Wow.
Why didn't it work out? I thought we were saving towards this. And then you find out, oh no, I used the money to do that, but then you didn't communicate that with me. So how come you changed the goal? And a lot of things happen. So there's a lot of questions, and you'd be like, but I thought you were passionate about this. And then, as you said, I jumped on the bandwagon with being passionate about it because I'm thinking, okay, one mindset to move forward together, and then everything just goes haywire. Nothing works out. So the purpose is interrupted, and the passion just is gone now because I'm fed up because what I thought we had going is not working. And guys, this is not me, I'm just saying.
No, but the reality is we don't all burn the same, and we don't all burn the same way for the same things. And realistically, if you were on a journey, as we're saying you were on, then you have to have in mind what the end goal looks like. And when I say the end, I don't mean the ultimate end, because there could be short journeys that we take as we continue through life, right? So the question is, what do I envision as the end? Is that the same thing that you envision? Are those visions the same? Are they different? How different are they? Is there going to be tension that, presents itself, and how do we resolve those tensions? Because we're talking about passion. Everybody talks about passion. It's great. You're on a journey, you're passionate, you've got this fire. But the reality is we don't all burn the same.
No.
And the way that we proceed or progress on our journey is not going to be the same. It's not going to be in the same time frame that we think we have. It's not going to be executed the same way. I might be stepping at 2 feet, you might be stepping at 1, or it depends. And so we're walking, but are we walking together? Is someone falling behind? Is someone moving way ahead? What's going on there? Are you able to bridge that gap, or is it just a sense of imbalance where it seems like it's a struggle, and pretty soon you're being tugged by a rope and you can't even catch up? It's like, what's going on? Or flip side, are you now where you could have advanced before? Are you being delayed in your advancement because you are together thinking that you're going along the same path, burning the same way, when it's not the case at all, because it could become a burden as well?
And I never understand why most times someone in whatever form of relationship always have to basically take a step back for the next person to go forward. You have most times, let's put this in relationship. Some of us lose our identity because we are just setting ourselves up to help the next person get their dream, thinking, okay, this could be my dream too. Because a lot of us do things that we're not accustomed to do when we are in relationships. Like, I don't like football. So you, Jamie, like football. We're in a relationship. I'm gonna suddenly be enthralled by football because that's your thing. I don't like football. So it's like I look at people that do that, and it's basically like, to me, they're losing their identity because they're trying to pick up what matters to the other person, and it happens a lot of the time. And I think more so with women where they just, okay, let me just go along with this and see where it goes. Because it seems to be promising. And then when it doesn't become promising, that's when the problems arise.
I'll tell you, you're looking at it in terms of relationships, romantic relationships. The same thing can be applied in professional settings. It can be applied all over the place because you've got a job.
Yeah.
It pays the bills, or at least it should, right? And your vision for yourself becomes subverted by the job that you're performing because you're dealing with immediate circumstances. However, at the same time, you do question, am I really interested in doing this? Am I doing this out of interest or because,
as I just said, with
there's pressure to do it. There's a whole lot going on. And, in terms of passion, the question, I would suppose that many people who've considered, what do you call them? Career changes. Yes. Brain freeze early in the morning. Many people who've considered career changes at some point have had to wake up, shake themselves into the reality that this is not working. Is it working? Is it not working for me? Because it might look as though it's fine and everything is okay. The question is it really? And you're the only one as an individual who knows that, whether it's marriage, whether it's a profession, whether it's just a goal in life that you've been benching for however long. The question is, do you want that fire to go out? Have your actions over whatever period of time caused your fire to go out so much so that the passion that ought to light your path is no longer there, so that you don't even know which path you should be on? And those are real philosophical questions which I can't answer for you. I'm not even going to pretend to do that. But I think that that's an individual stance that each of us at certain points in time need to just stop, regardless of whatever train we're on or whatever journey we're on, and kind of look around, survey the landscape, and ask ourselves, are we being true to ourselves? Are we being passionate? Where are we going? Have we spent time going in a certain direction to realize that it's the wrong one and we need to backtrack and go again? That's the question.
Go again or just not go? How about that?
Go in a different direction.
It's even with exercising. We start happy-go-lucky on January 1st, and then by March, we're marching literally off the train. I'll be like, I know with that, I know doing these restrictions, I don't want to eat less. So we would have forgotten the purpose, which is exercise to keep healthy and to ensure we have a bit of longevity. And we kill the passion because it's like, I ain't doing that no more. No push. No
you kill the passion. The passion can kill you. the faux. Here, I'm going to coin a term here. The faux passion. Can we do that? Faux passion, because it's phony passion. It's like fake passion. It's not really there, but it's like, yeah.
All right.
Faux passion.
The faux passion.
Yeah. Don't let it kill you. You say you kill the passion. Sometimes that can kill you.
Guys, as Jamie said, don't let the faux passion kill you, and please keep your passion going. As we take a break, return with us after this.
Good morning, SKN and Studio 327. This is Tao Batiste, one of your biggest fans. Just you're doing a lot of things well. Keep on that trajectory. Greatness, greatness, greatness.
no cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom. No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Representing for Good Morning SKN. We say good vibes, good energy, blessings and love. Voice your
Welcome back to GMSKN. If you have been a part of GMSKN Nation for a while, then you would know that Hortensia and I have had several debates before. And well, we're going to do that again today. We're going to be debating on the topic. If you don't know what it is, neither do I. All right, so there it is. Aliens may be living among us. Wow. If you don't know how the debate works, we're going to tell you. The structure goes like this. We'll have 2 minutes to prepare our structured argument, including an introduction, 3 supporting points, only 3, wow, and then a conclusion. This will be done during a brief commercial break, and then we will return, and we will each have 3 minutes to deliver our arguments. And once we've done so, we will get 1 minute to refute our opponent's argument to decide who will be the proponent or opponent of the debate or topic. We will play rock, paper, scissors. How about UFO, flying saucer? The winner decides whether they are for or against. So rock, paper, scissors on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wait, I wasn't ready.
Okay.
Okay, so it's rock,
paper, scissors, 3.
All right, go ahead, rock guy.
All right, aliens are living among us. Do I want to propose? Do I want to oppose? Okay, let's go. I'll be the proponent.
Okay, I'm opposing because I don't believe. Yeah.
All right, so we'll be back with our out of the world debate in a moment. Stay tuned.
shit.
An exotic experience.
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are debating the topic. Aliens are living among us. Aliens may be living among us, okay, more specifically. And I'm proposing the topic, so I have 3 minutes in which to speak. I begin. Good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis. I will be speaking to you today on the possibility that aliens are living among us. I have 3 minutes in which to make my presentation, so I will simply proceed by presenting 3 very important facts, which, of course, will follow the definition of an alien. Who or what is an alien? A simple definition could be that an alien is anything or anyone that does not originate in the place, the geographical location where we are. For the purposes of my first point, I specifically refer to geography as the landmass space, that space. Okay, let's talk Earth, geography, we're there in that physical space. So the fact that aliens may be living among us, we know this to be true because not everyone living here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and not everyone living where you are, is native to that place. We have foreigners, which are also referred to as aliens. So that proves not only that aliens may be living among us, but aliens are living among us. Some might be legal, some might be illegal, to use that term, right? We got it. So obviously foreigners are a class of aliens that are living among us. The other reason that I say that aliens could be living among us is because to assume that aliens are not living among us would imply that we are smart enough to detect everything that we know to be existent upon Earth, at least up until this point in time. The reality is, however, that we're just not that smart. We're really not that smart. We continue to identify species, and we do that, as time goes by. But the reality is, who says that there's not a possibility that those species may themselves be aliens? We don't know. We find a way to put them into our own classes, into our own box. We perceive them with our own senses. We categorize them according to how we think. And that simply is based on the fact that we think that we are the pillar of intelligence by which every other living being ought to be judged. And so if we don't perceive a reality in one way or the other, then that means that it doesn't exist. That, by the way, I say is erroneous, because really as human beings, we're not that smart. And we know that because just look at our politics globally. We've elected leaders who should represent us. And guess what? They've proven that they're not that smart. Could they be aliens? I don't know. Could we be aliens for electing them? Perhaps. Finally, when it comes to technology, again, based on the fact that we would use the technologies that we develop to identify what could be or could not be an alien. Again, it's dependent on our system of intelligence and what we think, is that standard. And the reality is that I would think that if aliens were actually out there and they could be smarter than the average human, which clearly doesn't take much to do that, I would tell you right now that they could have easily identified ways to cloak their intelligence, to cloak themselves, to blend in ways that we can't even begin to perceive, because really we're operating in 5 senses when they might be operating in more. So in conclusion, based on these things, the fact that foreigners live among us, the fact that we're really not that smart and our technology ought not really to be that advanced, aliens could be living among us.
Great presentation, Jamie. But I honestly do not believe that aliens live among us. The television shows that we watch show us a variety of different types, shapes, and beings that they consider to be aliens. Why I would say that aliens do not live among us, we have never seen them in their true form. They have never communicated with us. What we would have seen on television, we have seen the little spaceships just jetting by. Those could have been projections that were placed in the sky. We are not allowed to go to Area 51. I would like to go to Area 51. I would like to know if aliens really exist. We see a barrage of movies that were made that speak to alien beings. That includes Men in Black, that includes Star Trek, that includes Star Wars. There's always mention of beings being in the outer world and on other planets, which we are yet to prove. Astronauts have gone to so many planets thus far, and nobody has brought back any form of alien life or showed us any form of alien life, or that they would have communicated with any form of alien life. Now, for those persons who said that they would have been abducted by aliens or outer world beings, I don't want to doubt that, but I don't believe it is of alien origin. It is whatever conspiracy they would have developed here, that they abducted folks, brainwashed them, and made them believe that they see what they saw. Maybe it could have been mere humans dressed up in costumes, pretending to be these beings, and the person that was abducted, being in a trance or whatever they would have been in, believed that they would have seen an alien, or we would have seen a spaceship jetting across the sky. I just don't believe that alien exists until they allow us to have access to Area 51 and we can prove that there are extra beings out there, or until someone goes in the outer world and bring back a being. Or nowadays we have phones. Take a photograph or have a conversation with an outer world being. I will never believe that aliens exist in this world. Never, never, never. The other planets had proven to not have life, maybe a mere plant, but it is not proven to have any other life form living on them. So my argument is aliens do not exist.
So this is the point in time when we get 1 minute to prepare our rebuttal. If you if you care to comment on this topic, feel free to do so right now as we prepare our rebuttals.
The reason.
Welcome back to GMSKN. It's the middle of this otherworldly debate that we're having here on whether or not aliens may be among us. My opponent spoke for 3 minutes on why she believes that aliens could not be among us, and quite frankly, I was not convinced. And I was not convinced because of 4 reasons. My opponent spoke to conspiracy, television, visibility, and personal proof. Permit me to begin with the latter. Your personal feelings as to whether or not aliens exist do not provide enough evidence to convince anyone as to your belief that they could not be among us. That's your personal opinion, and quite frankly, I saw no evidence other than you're speaking to what we see portrayed in television as to the possibility that what we see or what we hear others say is actually not real. To use your words, and I paraphrase here, when we see flying saucers in the sky, or when we see aliens and images and so on, it could easily be somebody dressed up like them, or it could be projections. And we have more than enough images on television as to how aliens actually should look. Now, doesn't that just support my previous point that we're basing our perceptions of aliens on our intelligence, which I clearly said before, is really not that hard to replicate? So again, you're proving my point that we're looking to identify aliens based on our own intelligence, which we've trumped up to such a high degree that we can't even consider the possibility that there might be other beings out there who are even more intelligent than we are. Furthermore, I think that your argument was lax in a way because you failed to address my very first point, which was foreigners are also aliens here. And so you're overlooking that was deliberate, but nonetheless not convincing enough to persuade me or anyone else.
Alrighty, so it's my turn. So Jamie, I will start with what the last thing you just said. I overlooked that because that would have been in my argument now, because I'm an alien. I'm not a native of St. Kitts and Nevis, so I won't speak to that type of alien. My understanding of the alien that we're speaking about are the outer world beings. So I do understand your point of a foreign alien, but as I said, this fictitious thing about aliens, as you rightfully said, it was all in the minds of man to me. Because why would you make up such a movie where you have an alien having higher intelligence than us? Did this person encounter an alien to know that the alien has a higher IQ than us? Even in my famous movies that I watch, and I do, and Jamie mentioned the cloaking, of course. A whole general walks around. He is a green alien, but he walks around as a general. So as you rightfully say, we don't know, but I don't believe in it. Conspiracy theories, guys. Conspiracy theories. The only aliens I believe in are the foreign aliens like myself. Aliens do... Why? Jamie, why have we not been able to see an alien, at least in a museum, somewhere in a lab, something to make us believe that aliens exist? And why do they make them look so weird? They give them the biggest eyes, the biggest head. Is that why they're smarter than us? Jamie, this is all in the imagination of men. They decided, oh yeah, let's get some characters. Let's draw this up. Let's scare the humans on Earth that there's somebody else that's coming to get you and they're gonna suck your brain and because that's why when we watch most of the movies, we see the aliens basically destroying us because they think we are not on their level. We are mediocre beings, just like how we walk around here. Sometimes when foreign aliens are here and say the first thing, or
your time is up.
Wait,
sorry,
I have to finish.
Your time is up.
See, he doesn't want me to finish, but I'm gonna finish. The first thing they say, you're not from here. But see, so it's the same thing. The aliens are not from here, and aliens don't exist.
I'm sorry, are we hearing that? Your time is up.
The aliens do not exist, guys.
I'm waiting for somebody in studio to actually give us an indication as to who they think won that debate. Why don't we start with the actual presentations and then move our way down to the rebuttal? So, there's only one person in sight.
Now one person looked like, do not get me into this.
No, because this is serious. How are we going to determine who won this debate here?
Let us know in the comments, guys.
Really?
Because aliens ain't real. I ain't ever going to believe in them until I see one. So they need to, Area 51, if you're hearing us, let me in. I just need to be let out because you're not going to hold me hostage. Yeah.
Thank you for proving my point, by the way, because again, you spoke to needing to perceive things the way that we do, which is exactly what I said in my presentation.
Yeah,
Ergo, we're basing the detection of aliens on our own senses and our ability to perceive them. And that's an inherent flaw. Because we're looking for otherworldly things the way that we look for things.
But to find out that the dinosaur exists, didn't the archaeologists...
The dinosaur is not an alien. And neither is an archaeologist an alien detector.
Didn't they go digging to find these bones and these various things? Look, the lake that dried up the other day in Texas with the big paws that they say were dinosaur paws. I actually thought maybe somebody could have put them paws there. And you know, we fall for it as humans, but...
So again, you're proving my point that we're not really that smart. Thank you, Cortensia. The more you talk, the more you support my point. Keep talking.
No, Jimmy. I'm trying to say a man came up with something as an alien to make us look like we are not that smart because it's somebody's imagination that came up with the alien thing.
But that's a conspiracy theory that has no roots in any sort of evidence whatsoever. It's your personal belief.
Man had a dream and dreamt this thing and just decide, okay, space is vast. This is what I'm going to put up there.
Imagine that. I am so not convinced.
Wow. Aliens don't exist. I'm sticking to my point.
And if they did, you wouldn't know how to detect them. Which is
Jamie
my point.
an alien, guys?
So they may
Because
be
Jamie's talking like he's an alien that's among us human beings right here.
I love the way that, and I said it before, that we've elevated ourselves to such proportions that we fail to consider that there might be other things or beings that are more intelligent than we are. And this is something that we do.
But we
very well.
We lack the proof to show that these things exist. Once I have the proof, I'm fine. I'm fine.
That you've got to see with your own eyes. When I said before that when it comes to the aliens, it could be that they've developed extra senses so that we're looking to perceive them in a set of 5 senses when they've probably gone to 7 or 8.
Wow.
That possibility does exist.
Wow.
Well, since we have no winners here, and there are no clear winners, I guess there are only losers. We'll be back in a moment. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
exotic experience.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Here with us to discuss the importance and process of blood donation in the Federation is Dr. Jensen Morton, Director of Health Institutions within the Ministry of Health. Good morning, Dr. Morton, and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure indeed. So let's get right to it. Why do we need to donate blood? What is the importance of it?
All right. Well, blood donation is something that all citizens of any country should be aware of. We need blood, of course, because for a multitude of reasons in which it's medically indicated, you would need different blood products, usually in order to save a life or to decrease symptoms of another ailment, whilst we treat an underlying cause, etc., etc. The main reasons why persons may require blood donation in St. Kitts would be a lot of times if there's a large car accident, major laceration, some super traumatic event, maybe loss of a limb, maybe stab wound, gunshot wound. Apart from those, it could be something else like symptomatic uterine fibroids, exceptionally heavy menstrual bleeding in which it's been occurring for a very long period of time. Usually if there's a C-section, there is a significant amount of blood loss. And then the other indications would be persons with some chronic ailments, maybe a chronic anemia, maybe certain types of cancers and certain aspects of kidney disease. And all of these persons, and persons with sickle cell anemia as well, all of these persons, at some point in time, they may require a blood donation to assist in treating their ailment.
Wow. Just a follow-up question. You mentioned blood products.
Yes.
I'm trying to understand whether, it's a blanket statement, blood as in the blood product itself, or are you actually extracting certain components of the blood?
Well, when we extract a unit of blood, it comprises of different things. It comprises of red blood cells, it comprises white blood cells, it comprises platelets, and it also comprises plasma and blood proteins. What we do is, using centrifugation and other methods of filtration, we can separate them into different products such that depending on what your specific complaint is, that you can get the specific product that you need. So for most persons, if it's something traumatic or if there's been any acute blood loss, they tend to get red blood cells just to assist with the oxygenation. But if there's an issue with the blood clotting, the person might require platelets. And if it's another issue in which it's decreased blood volume and other things, they might require what we call fresh frozen plasma, which is another component after we treat it accordingly.
Sorry, just a follow-up question. Since we're talking about these products, is there a shelf life associated with these?
There's definitely a shelf life. It's one of the reasons why in any nation, a single blood drive is not sufficient. You have to continuously be advocating for blood donation because the red blood cells, they last usually in the region of 4 to 5 weeks only. So that means that even if we do one major blood drive and 200 people come forth, doesn't really help that much. It has to be basically a slow and steady, continuous, controlled input to match the output. The fresh frozen plasma could last a while, could last a few months. Platelets don't last long at all. But the good news is that they're the easiest to acquire, so it kind of plays very well. But the main component, the red blood cells, it only lasts between 4 and 5 weeks, optimally.
Oh, wow, that's a short time. So what are some of the requirements for donating blood? We can begin with the age range.
Okay, well, the age range that we ask for is between 18 and 65. But nowadays, it tends to mostly be 62 because if you're suffering from certain chronic ailments, we tend to give you a chance. The other things would be when you are on certain medications, you actually can't give blood in the acute setting. It's either you have to stop the medication for a certain period of time, but in some instances, if you are on the medication at all, you just cannot donate the blood. Sometimes some people, a big misunderstanding, some people think that persons that are diabetic on insulin can donate, but no, well, if you're diabetic, you can donate, but not if you're on insulin, especially specific types. But you technically can if you are not on insulin. The other main medication that's a contraindication would be blood thinners because they mess with everything with regards to aspects of coagulation and blood proteins. But when you come and you explain to us all of the medications that you're on, we would tell you whether you're able to donate or not. And even if you missed one, we still do our own screening just to make sure that there's none of these components in the bloodstream. The other things, of course, if you're suffering from certain ailments that can be spread from the blood, of course you can't. But even if you're unaware, we do our own screening again. So the blood donation, you can nearly say that you can use it as a form of checking yourself because we're going to check for everything. And we're going to let you know if by chance there's something that you didn't know. And apart from that, You have a few other asterisks. There are some precautions that we take regarding if you would have traveled to specific countries in the past 3 months, places where malaria is endemic, like certain parts of South America and Equatorial Africa, we would tell you wait 3 months because sometimes you can be completely asymptomatic and you wouldn't know, and we don't want to, again, run the risk of that. And the other thing that's a big one would be persons with tattoos and piercings. Normally we ask persons if you've recently had a tattoo or piercing to wait. Some places say 3 months, but we tend to more go closer to 6 months. Again, there's a slight risk of acquiring hepatitis from anything involving needles that's not in a medical setting. So just in case you're the unlucky 1 in 10,000, we don't want it to be that in our attempts to save someone, they get something. We do our own screening, like we say, but just to be doubly safe, we also would say if you recently had a tattoo or piercing, wait the 6 months, because at least by that time, if anything happened, if you're the first case of that in St. Kitts, at least it would show by that time. But like I said, we still do our own screening.
I want to go back to the diabetic setting.
Yes.
You said they can have diabetes and still give blood?
If they're not on insulin, yes.
So.
And if their blood sugar is controlled, all of that.
Oh, so for those folks that are on metformin, they can give blood?
You can, but you would, again, it's a similar thing. You'd have to stop the medication at a particular time, which we would indicate to you.
Wow, okay.
And also, like I said, the blood sugar has to be controlled. Similarly, with certain pressure medications, the blood pressure also has to be controlled.
Wow, okay.
But in the ideal setting, we tend to say, find a young person. Usually we would say if you could find a young male, women can give, but because women menstruate on a monthly basis, sometimes their blood count is very close to the anemic level.
Okay.
But even though that is the case, women can still give because they have the inbuilt ability to tolerate a decreased blood count better than the male, even though the male blood count can be higher. So we tend to say if you're a young male, usually between 18 and 30, blood count usually super high, you're active, no recent tattoo, that's usually the people that we aim for. But anyone, once you fit the other criteria, you can give. So we don't go out of our way to find persons that are like diabetic and hypertensive to harass them. We tend to find other persons first.
All right, so how frequently can someone give blood? And I assume, listening to you right now, that might depend on the level that you've assessed that they have.
You can give blood up to every 3 months. You can safely give up to every 3 months. It's just the internal mechanics of the body. When we take 1 unit, the body can manufacture the equivalent of 1 unit in about 3 months' time. And that's also the lifespan of a red blood cell. So in about 3 months' time, we check and everything's okay. There have been some cases in some areas in which emergently someone would have given in less than 3 months, but the blood count is still okay and they take a risk. I don't think we've ever had to do that.
Okay. So let's talk about where the extension of the opening hours for persons who can and are willing to donate blood at this time.
Well, this has to be explained very specifically. The opening hours, if you went back a few years, the opening hours used to be between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. It was shortened to 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. just, again, a few years back. That was a bit inconvenient for quite a few people because a lot of times they would get the call to donate and it would be difficult for them to be able to leave work earlier than very close to the ending time. So they tended to come usually like around 3, between 2 and 4, and that's when the blood bank would be closed. So then we said we'd extend the hours from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and we'd also increase the level of organization such that if someone is in dire need of a blood product, if you're in dire need of it, and it coincides with the fact that in our existing blood bank, we don't have any blood, let's say red blood cells that match that blood group, but you know your blood group, you have a donor, you absolutely need it, and we don't have it. We have the mechanics in place such that that can be arranged and the staff will accommodate even if it's nighttime or weekends, but it has to be that specific setup. If it is clinically determined that even though this person needs a blood product, but it's one in which we realize that, you know, it's not acutely dropping, etc., we might still, for the sake of convenience of everyone, we might still come with an alternative regime and tell the people, you know, you can return at XYZ time. Not to say we are chasing anyone, but if someone is in dire need of it, as clinically determined by the consultant managing the person, if it's dire need and it cannot wait, etc., and it coincides with us not having it in the bank, that is when we will say, okay, we'll work out something.
Okay. All right, speaking to what you have in the bank right now, is there any thing that is perhaps low in stock?
Nothing right now is low in stock, you know, but we always like to keep O negative blood on hand, because that is the blood group that can basically be given to a multitude of other groups. So if you come in, in the acute setting and you just got shot or something, and we need blood, no, we don't have time to wait for everything else. We would just use the O negative, since we wouldn't know your group offhand. So because that one is so useful, and also persons, if you're having certain issues with your immune system, you could react even sometimes with your own blood group, even more so than an O negative, since it has less antigens on the outside. So we have some other uses for the O negative as well. So we tend to use it more than the rest. So that is the one that we can never get enough of, and we're always asking the persons. But what tends to happen is that when persons randomly come and they randomly donate, if they realize that they're O negative and we realize that they're O negative, we kindly ask them to register, you know, give us your information, register, etc. We explain to them the importance, and from time to time they might get a call from us to come and to donate. So some of the O negative people, they know, because we tend to be calling them quietly at different points during the year. But if we can get regular donations from the entire population, it would kind of decrease the need for that level of harassment, because I mean, we have 50,000 people here. In a week's time, we probably would only use somewhere in the region of about, in a bad week, like 30 units. So there are enough persons that are healthy enough to donate, such that we should not have the issues. It's just that people need to be aware. And what I found is that it's not that people don't want to donate or they're afraid of needles or this and that. It's usually just that it's something that's not on their mind. Okay. And when you call them and tell them, that's when they remember. Or if a family member of theirs needs something, that's when they remember. Usually, well, we're trying to see if we could have that stop with regular donations. But usually you would see someone would put out a distress call to say, if this person has this type of blood, if they could donate. The response is usually very good, and usually the person probably needed 1 or 2 units and like 8-9 people show up to donate. So the response is usually good. So that tells me that people don't mind donating. It's just that they just need the reminder that before waiting for an emergency, you could, in the normal setting, just get accustomed to donating. It doesn't have to be every 3 months. If it's as little as once a year or once every 2 years, it can help significantly with everything that we're doing.
Okay. Some concerns persons might have. Is there a blood test before you give the blood?
There are some tests that we do. Before we take blood from you, we check your blood count to make sure that it's within a healthy range, because we don't want to take blood from you when you need it yourself. We check your blood group as well. So once you go to donate, it's like you're getting a free testing of your blood group, essentially, because outside of that setting, the blood group testing has a cost attached. And after we do those 2 things, and we do some screening with regards to questions, once everything adds up and we realize that there's nothing that's a red flag that tells us maybe not now, that's when we take the blood product from you, and then we check, we make sure you're okay in between, we make sure you're okay afterwards, we check your blood pressure before, we check all those things before, all your vitals before, we then check them afterwards to make sure that you're stable, and then after we observe you for a few minutes to an hour, if we realize that you are okay, we can allow you to leave. We even give you a malt to top back up your blood volume, your glucose, etc. Okay. And your B vitamins. Okay. And that's usually the process. And then we take the blood for our own screening now to make sure that everything else is okay.
Okay. Right. So how do people get in touch with the Ministry of Health if they have questions about donating blood?
If they have any question about blood donation, they can call the lab, they can call the hospital and be directed to the lab. The lab manager can answer questions, the head of the lab can answer questions, the secretary, who also functions as a blood bank advocate, can also answer questions. But if you stumble on any health professional that works in the hospital, they should be able to at least answer your questions or point you in the right direction for you to get those questions answered. You could also even speak to persons who have donated blood before, because they tend to be, if they're frequent donors, they tend to be very well educated about it.
And what would that number be if we need to call the blood bank?
4652521.
Okay.
The normal number for everything.
Okay. And could you remind, my voice is going, could you remind those persons who are interested in donating blood the opening hours of the lab?
Yes, the blood bank, it's open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. But as I said, if there's a dire emergency that coincides with us not having the available blood group that's needed, and it's determined that the person needs blood emergently, then the staff of the blood bank, they would be available to accommodate that situation just to ensure that everyone gets what they need.
Nice. So, Dr. Jamie, I think you have to take this one.
Dr. Jensen Morgan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
More Good Morning SKN in a moment. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Good morning, this is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
Yoshini Voice representing for Good Morning SKN. We say good vibes, good energy, blessings and love. Voice rated.
Good morning, this is Karen Paris and Zipo from Paris, Vermont. I want to encourage y'all to sign on to Good Morning SKN every morning from 8 to 10 at Studio 327. Thanks.
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
With us now are 4 women who participated in the Women's Employment, Entrepreneurship, and Financial Inclusion Project. We're honored to welcome Anastasia Elliott, founder of Sugartown Organics, Cheyenne Edgings, owner of Sculpt by Stush, Heather Jacobs, owner of Tresonsage Laser and Body Care Center, and Danielle Mills-Jeffers, owner of Wax Memories SKN. Welcome to GMSKN, ladies.
Welcome, ladies.
Yeah.
I stumbled on your name, Cheyenne, because I had to recall that you said to me that you were shy. So you're not going to be shy today at all. So I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves to our viewing audience and give us brief summaries of your business. Heather, I'll start with you.
Good morning. I'm Heather Jacobs, as you said, the owner of Tresonsage Laser and Body Care Center, and we are specializing in skin care and laser treatment, hair removal more so, and we're all about having everyone to appreciate the natural skin and natural self that we have.
Nice.
Anastasia?
Good morning. My name is Anastasia Elliott. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Sugartown Organics. We are your premier organic company. We create organic hair care, skin care, bath and body products, baby care, as well as gourmet vegan foods.
Cheyenne.
I'm Cheyenne Edgings, owner of Sculpt by Stush, and we do non-invasive body contouring. So you can get your dream body without surgery safely and affordably.
I like that.
Good morning, I am Danielle Mills-Jeffers, the owner and founder of Wax Memories SKN, where we specialize in aromatherapy, giving you that holistic experience through scents, providing wax melts, car air fresheners, diffusers, just to name a few.
Alrighty. So I'm going to start with you, Danielle. This was a beauty workshop. How did you fit in and why did you decide to sign up?
So I fit in because aromatherapy is not branded specifically for any one industry, but for the beauty industry, collaborating with other female beauty specialists, for instance, Heather, she has a spa, so giving her that package that scent she can put in the spa, so when her customers arrive, they can feel relaxed and calm.
Nice. And Jana? The question is, why did you, it's a beauty workshop, but why did you decide to sign up? Because when I think about beauty, I think about makeup, hair, and I never really thought about all the other parts of it. So.
Well, the body, I think that's a part of beauty also, you know. Your body got to be right. So why did I sign up? I've heard about the past workshops, and I heard about how they help businesses to advance, and I wanted that for my business also.
Nice, I like that. Heather?
Well, after being in business for 10 years, you start to get complacent to an extent that you have this, well, okay, I know it all, kind of thing, but I really wanted to start to refresh and see what is out there, new to learn, that I can implement in the business going forward.
Okay. Anastasia?
It was really about, again, like I just said, catching up on what's new.
Okay.
What is new on the market? Who is new on the market? For me, it's important to know who is out there, what is being offered. Because I have multiple arms in my business where I do a lot of collaboration as well. It's important for me to be able to go out and network, right? So it's part of networking as well for me. Knowing who's out there, what they offer, so that if I need something, I know where I can turn locally. Because I prefer to do that than to go external.
Nice. I like
That's
that.
something I remember you were saying before, to be honest. All right, so I love how orderly you are with your speaking. You know, we're calling you names, and you're just waiting as if this is a classroom setting. Yeah, that ends now. I'm curious to know about the lessons that you learned, you know, the facilitations that for you were exciting and anyone can speak. So what did you take away from this workshop? What were some of those things?
I think we had some really interesting presenters. If I want to remember the technology one, because that is where, for me personally, I think I sort of lack the discipline there. So it was nice to have that encouragement and showing how easy it can be done. You don't have to be doing it every day. Every day you can actually schedule your post, so you don't have to go and do it every day. You schedule the post and you have it done. So that's an easier tip I can work with. But for me, that is something I think I stumble on a lot. So it was good to know that I don't have to do it every day.
Okay.
Again, I'm not calling you names.
So you ladies just got to
intellectual property, where you take what you know and what you've learned and how you make and provide your products and services and offer it externally without the tangible products being present. So for instance, I can make a workbook on how I make my wax melts and I can sell it to regionally or locally. With that being said, I've took the initiative to start my first Easter cake making candle session. So I'm having that next month based off of the whole course, and it definitely played a factor for me to make that start.
Who is your favorite facilitator then?
Just to name two. I would say Gianna and Kyla, they were my favorites.
All right.
And then there were two.
And we're not calling names.
For me, definitely time of she spoke about the intellectual property also, and it was also a dream of mine to teach body sculpting. So I'm finishing up training for teaching, and that's something that I'm going to do regionally. So definitely her presentation stood out to me. Also, Miss Morton, Yarny Morton, she did social media syndication, and in a world that's digitized now, you know, we need that. So that was very helpful also.
So for me, there were a few whom I've never experienced in terms of that setting before. Kyla, Arnie, I've heard of them, but I've never actually been in a setting where I've been learning from them. So it was quite interesting to experience that and to learn the way that they do things locally that may be different to what I do. I tend to do quite a bit in-house.
Okay.
But I still struggle. You know, sometimes I get busy, I focus on, I have a project doing and focusing on it, and everything else gets, you know, even though my team, they pick up certain things, but there's something that I'm the one who does it, right?
Okay.
So it's just a way how they did, you know, how they sort of create the systems that work even when you're not there. And so for me, it's really getting back to doing that in-house so that I could, I wouldn't necessarily say more productive, but get more done sometimes when I'm busy with other things.
So I'm gonna ask you. No, I'm going too far. So what have you ladies, since, well, you said what you would have implemented, right? What have you other ladies have implemented since you have left the course?
Me, this is our second anniversary for our storefront.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And what I've decided to do coming off the course is to revamp our storefront.
Okay.
It was on my mind to do it, just not how particularly.
Okay.
We've been getting feedback from tourists passing through, from locals, about things that they see that we can improve on. And so the workshop really allowed me to sort of put that into a holistic package where I wanted to be able to bring in other local products, to expand it as a sort of local hub where you can get locally made products, because we have tourists who pass when they ask me for different things that I am not interested in making, right? But there are other people who I know make it. And so I can bring it in, and then as people come through, they know they can get, and everything is branded as a local shop, right?
Nice.
As opposed to just home for Yafrin and Morocco and all that.
Okay, nice. Nice, I like that.
Well, you know, I'm not calling your names. You ought to know that by now. So the question again was, what have you implemented since the course? China, don't be shy.
What have I implemented? I would say definitely practices like budgeting and organizing the money part of it, because you know you're in a small business, you're doing everything yourself. So like accounts and all of that, I've started doing that. And being in business, I would say I was winging it, doing everything. Doing the course, you learn like, oh, I've been doing that, but oh, this is what it is. So you more understand the reason behind doing stuff, and everything comes together. So I would say that.
Well, we're going to take a... Oh, Heather.
Heather is looking at me like she's about to have a heart attack, by the way. She's
I tried to activate my Instagram account, because previously I was only using my Facebook account. So I tried to activate my Instagram account. And everyone said to me, you need to be on Insta. Like, okay, I'm not.
That sounds like me.
Activated it and I actually made one or two posts. So I'm getting there.
You're getting there. I like that.
all right. You can take a breather now, Heather.
We're going to take a short break. Much more with the ladies after this.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
And we are back with Anastasia Elliott, founder of Sugartongue Organics, Shiana Edgens, owner of Sculpt by Stush, Heather Jacobs, owner of Tressons Arge, I don't want to butcher it, Laser and Body Care Center, and Danielle Mills Jeffers, owner of Wax Memories. So ladies, well, I'm going to call names, so I'm going to start with Cheyenne. What was your greatest takeaway from this experience, and how did interacting with the other ladies enhance who you are and maybe will lend to your business as you go forward?
Okay, my greatest takeaway, I would definitely say learning about the intellectual property. As I said before, it was always a goal of mine to start training, and learning about that, I was like, oh, you know, so this is what I'm doing. So learning that I was on the right path and continuing it, definitely that was the greatest takeaway. And learning about other businesses and interacting with people, because, you know, you're in your salon all day, you don't really, you know, see people. So that was great. And interacting with people and learning about their businesses and seeing how they do stuff, how you could learn from them. That also.
All right. Lady D?
So for me, my biggest feedback, and I would second Cheyenne, is networking. For instance, networking. I sing that song all the time, and sometimes we take it for granted that we need to meet and collaborate with other female entrepreneurs on a whole. And in terms of collaborations, at the end of the workshop, I presented each one of the participants some little sample bags so that they can get a taste of what Wax Memories has to offer, and I definitely saw that it triggered some wants for the products and overall collaborative efforts.
You don't have to sell me on that, because when you were here, you did that, and I'm telling you, honestly, it's a great thing to do. Yeah.
Heather?
Like everyone else said, networking, and as I said previously, was always to get sort of we both more or less on the focus, because after COVID, you know, it became kind of difficult to function in spas. I mean, we all were closed down, and it was really, really difficult. And getting back there, even though you try, it still was kind of difficult really for me to refocus again. So I think the 2 weeks training gave me a new lease on refocusing and a new way to go forward in the business going in the future.
Okay.
For all of us, networking was the biggest thing, like being able to see what was out there and how we can connect and just offer more value to our customers. I think that was important for us as women, especially as women. We don't network very well, and that is fact, right? And so being able to be in a space like that where we could do that, where we had the opportunity to do that in a space where it was just us, I think was very important.
All right, you mentioned something and it triggered a question in me, because obviously you said being women, you know, we don't really network very well. Well, I don't know the first thing about being a woman, but when we talk about sisterhood, sometimes I know Jamel Huggins was on here and we spoke to her recently about being sisters, not in competition with one another. So as women in business, having that opportunity to network, what has that felt like for you? Do you feel like there is some sort of sisterhood that is developing, perhaps, that you're now being able to tap into that perhaps you didn't realize that you could before?
Yesterday we actually had a group chat, and we're still active. So now we like share the information. We share if someone can do something. We share if someone has one information. We push it on to someone, a next member of the group. So we still communicate, and we intend to do that for a while to come. That we can have this networking, and in the end support each other as we go forward in our businesses.
Cheyenne?
I will second that. We have the group chat, and we actually, I think, make friends and planning, you know, outings together. So yes, it's fun.
Girls have all the fun. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, as people who've gone through this particular experience, what would you say to others if they were to have a similar opportunity that you had?
Because you learn on a professional level, but you also learn on a personal level. And in business, that is always important for you to do.
The fact that they
stay stagnant because things change every day.
Yeah, indeed. The fact that they had to pull from a pool. When any of you ladies signed up, were you thinking I won't get through, or maybe I'll get through?
For instance, like I do wax. You might think that I'm not a part of the beauty industry. I don't do wax like waxing.
Wax, yeah, we get that.
But I do wax melts, and you would never think until you actually sit down and put the pieces together, and you know, I can partner with Skin Organics, I can partner with Chessons, I can partner with Cheyenne, and it's definitely a holistic experience for all of us. And I've definitely just shoot my shots, and here I am today.
Good stuff.
Cheyenne, I sense that you have something to say. You're back to being shy, Shannon. You're back to being shy. All right. Well, I have to say, this has been a real delight talking with you, learning about your experiences. Is there anything else that you want to say? Because I feel like you're bursting with such excitement. You're enthusiastic about implementing what you've learned. What do we have to look forward to as your patrons?
Well, what we learned, we can definitely take the mantle and go on and pursue it in our own personal businesses. And I think I want to commend the facilitators on a whole, because they provide us with different aspects of the business. So we learned on customer service, we learned on marketing, we learned on budgeting, we learned on financing, and it was definitely a wholesome experience. And that once they pursue and they have this program again, I would definitely recommend for persons to sign up, because it can better, not financially only, but it can better your products, your experiences with the patrons, and your overall products.
I like that.
Yeah, we've got a little time left because, time. All right, so here's what I want to do. I want to give you an opportunity to let the public know how they can get in touch with each of you. We've mentioned your business names, but of course we didn't ask for your contact information. So we're going to start with you, Anastasia. That's your camera, and we'll take it straight.
Okay, so for me, I would like to provide an answer as well. You guys know that I do a creative entrepreneurship camp, and so being a part of this program actually exposed me to some talents out there, like this here, right, that I can bring into, because what I am trying to do with my camp is to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs, right? Teaching them from young. The camp is open for children 6 to 19, right? And teaching them entrepreneurship from beginning to product launch, right? Because at the end, they have to do a whole exhibition where they present their businesses, the products that they're selling, and sell them, right? And the money they get to keep.
Okay.
And so for me, it was being able to find another pool of facilitators, right?
Which you now do.
It's fine. So it's not just my efforts, but it's a holistic effort in the entire community. So my name again is Anastasia Elliott. I am the CEO and co-founder of Sugartown Organics. We have a storefront, the Organics Shop, in the Pelican Mall. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram by our brand names, Yaffine, Marapa Skincare, Flower Foods, and Baba's Lullaby. You can also reach me at 668-6713.
Before I go, I'd like to thank as Danielle said, the facilitators and also the Taiwanese embassy, because they made a monetary contribution of 3,000 US each, which all 30 of us who participated got that. So that is to go towards helping us in our business in the future. At Restaurant Zaj, you can contact us on our cell phone, 661-2528. And we do have a landline, 466-0035, or you can message via Facebook, Instagram, anyway, and you'll get me. I normally answer promptly.
I see you're learning. You mentioned Instagram.
Instagram. You're on Insta.
That was the whole purpose that I have wasted 2 weeks. So
you're on the gram.
All right.
So I am Daniel Mills Jeffers once again, the owner and the founder of Wax Movies SKN. I can be contacted at 8763-8114. That is 763-8114 on social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook at Wax Movies SKN.
Cheyenne Edgins, owner of Sculpt by Stush, and you can find us on Facebook, Sculpt by Stush, Instagram, Sculpt_by_Stush, and WhatsApp 663-5052.
I'm loving these names, by the way. I gotta tell you, these business names, I mean, seriously. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Congratulations.
More GMSKN in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
Dreamy Decor specializes in flowers for all events, from birthdays to weddings and any other special occasion. What's a better way to express to the people you love than by providing the finest selection of beautiful flowers and gifts? So when you think of flowers, think of us, Dreamy Decor.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
No cash, no card, no problem. Jad, embrace the freedom.
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. This is a time of day when we reflect on what happened for the show. So if you were just joining us, you are late, but thankfully the show is recorded, so you can check it out. And if you want to preview what we just did because you've not seen it before, we talked with some ladies who have really meaningful businesses.
Meaningful businesses, and they all are collaborating to get their final products. Because there is me, I never thought a wax, well, not the wax lady, not the normal wax we're accustomed to, but someone that makes scented candles had a place in beauty. Because I'm thinking it's just scented candles, but then you go to the spot. Yeah, I didn't think that far, guys. So I was like, wow, look, it all matches up. And as Anna said, she's gonna have almost all of their products, because what if they come now and then they want a body sculpt? She can say, oh, you can go to Shani. Or you want a massage, or you can go to Heather. And then she can have all of Danielle's beautiful...
Networking.
Oh, man.
That's what it comes down to.
Indeed,
networking.
indeed.
And we also talked about the blood drive.
Yeah.
Which is ongoing, by the way.
Yeah, so please go out and support.
All right, so yeah, talking about blood, the blood pulsating through my veins
And we
right now.
also said
What did we say?
aliens do not, but I said do not.
Oh, you're going with that. Okay, sorry, I forgot all about that argument. And anyway, yeah, there's a reason I forgot about it. What I did not forget to do, however, is to thank you guys for joining us today for another edition of GMSKN. Of course, as I like to do, I like to invite you to keep checking. So we're here from Mondays to Fridays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And of course, we try to bring you a little bit of everything that you'd like.
Yeah.
And the more people you tell, the more we get to that goal of you getting a little bit of everything for everyone, because I guess we want to be like, you know, those characters that want to take over the world. So we're trying to go global and get everyone to watch. So you can help us by telling your friends and family members where to watch us as well. And I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to tell you where you can follow us. Follow us on our social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube at Studio327 Inc. We're also on Instagram at Studio327 Inc. And Instagram apparently was so nice we had to do it twice. So we're there as well at Good Morning SKN, right? You can follow that page. That's one specific to this show. Like, subscribe, follow, and share. And check out our website at www.studio327inc.com. The contact information is also there. So when you're there, you feel like dropping us a line, do that. It's easy.
Yeah, and leave us a comment and let us know what was your favorite part of today's show. And see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. when you will start your morning with us right here, tomorrow, Tuesday, here at Good Morning SKN. Remember to pursue your passion, pursue your purpose, and go at it with passion. That will be my closing remarks. You have a great day. Thanks for watching.